Hey, Kevin, Serena Winters, Valley Sports. Curious if you got a chance to look at Darius today and what you guys have missed the most the past 4 games with him out.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously somebody that we miss. Played at our all-star level point guard. He's just devastating when he plays downhill, especially with, his bigs that we have. And then the second unit at points playing off guard, going to score the ball. So he's just been amazing for us all year. So to get him back, he'll just be able to settle us in a lot more, especially to start the game. And then, guys will play their natural positions and get their natural minutes and come in and step up in the second unit. So it's just more, I've been talking about us being whole. It's just, we're just such a better team when we have, all of our strength and all of our numbers.
And then with acquiring Rondo, being in this league as long as you have and acquiring him, obviously another older veteran in this league, what are you hoping that he brings most to this squad?
Yeah, just that leadership. I think, I've talked about Ricky bringing so much of that for this team between him and myself, him just having that 10 years experience, been around the league, seen so much and acquired so much, knowledge and wisdom in this league over that time. And Rondo's no different. He's a two-time champ. A guy that's been around Hall of Fame players, knows what it takes to play at that level, and also just, will be able to settle us in and make for us and play on the defensive end at such a high level. So we're excited to have him here. And, for me, having another guy that's, in the mid to high teens in years played. So we're excited to have him.
And then lastly, with Memphis tonight, I mean, when you match up against the best offensive rebounding team in the NBA, how do you alter your game plan, if at all, just to focus on making sure that they don't get those second chance opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take, an army tonight to keep them off the glass. You saw what they did last night in Brooklyn. Guards got to come in and hit the bigs, pick up some defensive rebounds. With those guys shooting threes. And then, try to punish them with our size. But I think it's going to be a very physical game tonight, but a fun one nonetheless.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Kelsey.
Can't hear.
We don't have you, Kelsey. Hold on. Nothing yet, Kelsey.
She's not on mute.
All right. Anybody else right now?
I'll put it in the chat.
Nope. Anybody else? Serena, go ahead again.
Here I am again, Kevin. So Lamar is actually going to be mic'd up for the game tonight. You've been around him, so I'm just curious. I know you're very vocal on the sidelines, but for the listeners out there, what can we expect to hear from Lamar when he's mic'd up?
I'm glad you guys get to get a little mic presence from Lamar. He's a guy that I mentioned last game after the game was just so great for us at halftime, keeping us locked in. He's a consummate pro, a guy that behind the scenes probably doesn't get enough credit for what he does and his professionalism and his approach to the game. But I think, especially tonight, he's going to have his hands full, especially switching off onto Morant, probably getting matched up on him when he's on the offensive end of the ball. So, we're going to need him to definitely help on the for defensive rebounding and then just play super aggressive like he did last game. But, he's one of those guys as well. And we have a few of those that he does stuff that doesn't necessarily show up in the stat sheet. But again, that's part of being a pro. That's part of doing whatever it takes with this team. And he's one of those guys that established that dog type mentality that we have.
Thanks, Kevin.
Kelsey, want to give one more try?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
There we go.
Okay, sorry about that, Kevin.
Okay.
Kelsey, to the Athletic, sort of going off the thing you said though, like with getting guys back, how does that help build on the consistency that you guys had earlier in the season before all this stuff happened? And obviously I know like not having Ricky for the rest of the season, but how can you go back to building that consistency that you guys had earlier?
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it's consistency, it's continuity, understanding, kind of where we all fit into this and growing within our roles. That doesn't happen unless guys are available. So I think it's, getting Jetty back, understanding, Rondo's going to fill a lot of Ricky's minutes, but just having our, our franchise point guard back and a guy that means so much to this team and can settle us in, especially in that starting unit and just what he means for the team, how great he's been playing all year. That's huge. But just consistency within, what we're trying to do, our lineup and our identity is absolutely huge for us.
And obviously, through the stretch, you guys played hard and guys filled in and it's, increased because of injuries and guys being out. How do you evaluate how you guys managed that stretch, and what does it say about the way that guys were able to still play with that level of how hard you guys play on a nightly basis?
With guys out, I missed the first part, but with guys out, you're saying that during that time?
Okay. Yeah, just what it says about you guys as a team, that you managed this the best possible way, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we didn't play bad basketball. We were just down bodies like so many teams were. I think, naturally, when you lose somebody that is at the heart and soul of your team, like Ricky, I mean, that's just, I don't know if I'll ever get over not only how he went down, but just at the core of what we do, how big he was and how great he was this season. But I think turning the page on that, as well as getting guys back from COVID and being in protocol is really, just paramount for us. But I think during that time, we had different guys, step up, play minutes. And I think that experience for guys, in the long term of this season and the goals, what do we want to achieve? I think it was great for them.
And then one more for me. What do you think the next step for you guys is, just kind of heading into this next part of the season? Where do you want to see growth and where do you guys want to go next, I guess?
I mean, again, to your point about consistency, I think getting that defensive identity back. I mean, we've been so good, and just having DG back in, Jetty back, Rondo, I keep mentioning those guys, but just getting back to that level of play on the defensive end and letting that dictate what we do offensively. And teams have a tough time matching up with us on the break, but the way that we get there faster and having it not be a secondary break is, try to not make that ball go through the basket on the defensive end of the floor. So, if we can rebound and get the ball out and play downhill, I think that's what I want to see, really put pressure on teams, getting the bonus early, attack, and then just protect the paint as much as we can on the defensive end. I think that's probably the biggest thing, is just getting back to our principles, sticking to them, and having that identity to keep people out of the paint and play big.
Thank you.
Rafa, go ahead.
Rafa Hernandez, Brito, Cavs, Spanish Radio. Kevin, I've been watching you on your pregame warm-up with JJ, and you seem to be putting a little extra air on those warm-up rainbows. 5 straight games with 20-plus points. Is there any science behind it, or is it just the ball deciding to go in a little more often lately?
Yeah, no, I think it's, obviously a little bit of both, and you got to, I think your teammates end up finding you, especially when you're rolling. And I think, even if I'm not shooting the ball, hopefully I'm drawing some attention to get other guys open. But definitely putting some more air under the ball. And even, in warm-ups, I don't even care. I'll throw it up, I'll airball the shot, but I want to trust that I'm putting it way up. So when I go back to my regular shot, that I have my legs and I'm trusting it and shooting through the basketball. So that's something that a few of us have been focusing on, and just understanding with, some of our shot makers out and guys that produce a lot on the offensive end, that I've just had to step up and score the basketball more, and just understand to keep shooting with confidence. This game is cyclical. Seasons are the same way, but just, continue to give these guys everything that I can and do my part.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Joe G, last one.
Joe G, Cavs.com. Hey, Kevin, I'm just curious, do you have any relationship with Rondo? I mean, have your paths crossed over all these years? And as the year veteran, are you the ambassador that kind of welcomes him in and gives them the lay of the land?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anybody that's come in, whether they've, been a 2-way, a 10-day, just seeing new guys coming in and out, even just Ricky coming back to the team, I've tried to welcome them with open arms. But again, with that, it takes an army too. I think everybody here, and I've mentioned it before, we all celebrate each other. JB always mentions it first right out the gate, that we have a really good group here, both on and off the floor, character guys that want to build this, and are just, very selfless in their identity. So I think, yeah, just I'll probably be, one of the guys to, definitely bring him in. But he's such a smart, savvy veteran player that's, kind of seen it all, done it all within his career. And I think he can really help us. So I think his willingness to, just be himself and fight for us is going to be there. And I think, it'll be a smooth transition for him if that's the case and when that's the case.
Thank you.